So today I will be refuting some arguments brought by Godlogic in his discussion with Hamza, Ramzi, and the Muslim cowboy. Um, yeah, I've watched this before and I've taken a couple notes, so I'll be reading off of them during this video. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Why can't a book revealed to Jesus, yeah, and a book written about Jesus by men who never met him
decades
be the
later.
same thing?
Wait, you said men have never met him. So okay, good. A lot of assumptions here.
No.
Yeah, so I don't know why Godlogic is saying that there are a lot of assumptions. We know that the gospel writers never met Jesus because Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John were written decades after Jesus left the world. Like, Mark was written around 65 to 70 CE, and John came later, closer to like 90 or 100 CE. And Jesus lived from around 4 BCE to 30 CE. So the books came like way after his time, which means that they were written by people after Jesus. So yeah, that's gonna have been like the Injeel, which was a direct revelation to Jesus.
So like, watch this, Hamza.
Watch
was
what?
Jesus given a physical book?
Watch what?
Was
Okay.
Jesus given a
I'll
physical
say it again.
book?
His next question was Jesus given a physical book? Well, according to Ibn Kathir, he says the Injeel was a divine guidance given to Jesus, but he doesn't mention anywhere it being a physical book, which is the same opinion with Imam al-Qurtubi, where he talks about the message, not a written text. Al-Razi also confirms that the Injeel was an oral revelation, not a physical book, and Ibn Taymiyyah straight up says that the current Gospels aren't the original Injeel and that it was orally delivered. Even Muhammad Assad makes it clear the Injeel was something Jesus preached and not something written down at the time. So, no, Jesus did not have a physical book.
Physical, when it was revealed, did it come down in the form of a book that he grabbed with his hand?
Yes, did he have
or was
actual...
it imprinted into his mind and then he spoke it and then they wrote it down, or he wrote it down?
Yeah, so
I'm asking you, when it says revealed, anzala means it came down from the sky as a book that was already printed on. It came from something that had a printer. And
here, was Jesus walking around with a physical gospel? Yes or no?
We're not told, as far as I'm aware.
Prophets before Jesus wrote their gospels.
Well, no,
right,
no,
but there's nothing that I'm aware of says that Jesus wrote his gospel and was holding on to it as he was writing it, because all of the prophets knew their revelation by heart.
Good. So no evidence that Jesus wrote a physical gospel and was walking around.
No one's claiming that.
Never claimed he did.
No, we're not claiming it that he wrote it down. We're saying it's possible.
But this is irrelevant, mate. This is what we call a red herring, mate.
I didn't
Chef Logic. This is a red herring. Can you stop with the logical fallacies, mate?
I didn't claim that you did. So I'm still not clear on the answer. Did he or did he not have a physical gospel?
We don't go definitive on this.
Yeah, so he's just going in circles because according to most of the scholars, a physical book wasn't revealed to him. It was like orally, he preached it. He didn't like hand out a book. So, yeah.
Other things. لا نصدق ولا نكذب. Hold on. Avery. لا نصدق ولا نكذب. We do not affirm nor do we deny, because there's not enough information to make a determination whether he had it written down or rather he was speaking it to his companions.
What's your point?
So you don't know what the Injeel was. You don't know if it was a physical revelation or not. That Jesus.
That's the same thing. That's the same thing what you just said.
Yeah, he's just repeating the same thing over and over again. I'm not even going to answer it this time because I already said it 2 times now.
All right, here's my question now. Was the Injeel written?
Yes, we believe it was written down.
Who wrote it?
We don't know.
How do you know that Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John didn't write it?
All
right, so he's finally changed his question. And I heard he addressed this in the beginning, so I'll just say what I said before. It's impossible for Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John to have written down the Injeel for a few key reasons. Number 1, timing. The Gospels were written decades after Jesus' life. Mark was written around 70 CE. Matthew and Luke around 80 to 90 CE, and John around 90 to 100 CE. Jesus lived around 30 CE, so these writings came long after his time. The earliest was Mark, and it came, 40 years after? Anyways, next, authorship. None of these gospels were written by Jesus or his direct companions during his lifetime. They were penned by others who followed later. Number 3, content changes. The Gospels include content and interpretations that differ from the original Injeel. The Quran says the Injeel was a revelation to Jesus, but these Gospels were written as accounts of his life and teachings, not a divine message he received. So the Gospels aren't the same as the Injeel given to Jesus because they were written a long time after his, by others in different content. So yeah, the Gospels written by Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John are basically biographies of Jesus' life, and the Injeel was not a biography. He'll get into that later, and when he does, I will respond accordingly.
The Gospel, because you guys don't know who wrote the Gospel, so it doesn't have to be written by. It doesn't have to be.
We don't know who wrote them.
Wait, let me land this. It doesn't have to be written by eyewitness accounts, because you guys don't know if it was written by eyewitness accounts or secondary or third.
We're saying we don't know.
Alright, so basically he's saying that since we don't know who wrote the Injeel, even though we don't know if it was written down or not, we can't say that the gospel writers, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, didn't write it, and it doesn't have to be eyewitness accounts, which doesn't make sense. But regardless, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John cannot have written down the Injeel because those are biographies of Jesus' life, and the Injeel was not a biography. Again, he will make that argument later that why can't the Injeel be a biography, and when he does, I will refute him, inshallah.
That means we don't know the name of the companion, if Jesus himself wrote it or if he had a scribe who wrote it. That's what we're saying. We're saying we're not going to go out on a limb and make a affirmative statement without knowledge. That's what we're saying. Look, if it was written, which we know it was because it reached some other people, it was either written by Isa alayhi salam or by his companions. But from who it was, we don't know. Was it him?
I'll explain to you. Because Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are a biography.
Yeah, so Hamza says the same thing that I did, that the Gospels written by Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John were biographies, and the Injeel was not a biography.
How do you know that it wasn't a biography? How do you?
It is a biography. It is a biography. It is a biography.
How do you know that the Injeel was not a biography?
Ramzi?
Alright, so he finally asked the question, how do we know that the Injeel is not a biography? Let me tell you why. Here, let me pull up these verses and they will just destroy this whole claim. Alright, so as you can see over here, it says, "Then in the footsteps of the prophets we sent Jesus, son of Mary, confirming the Torah revealed before him, and we gave him the gospel containing guidance and light, confirming what was revealed in the Torah, a guide and a lesson to the God-fearing." Meaning, according to this Quran verse, nowhere does it say it's going to be a biography of Jesus' life or anyone else for that matter. It's saying that it's confirming the Torah which came before it, and that it's guidance and light, a guide, a lesson to the God-fearing. So yeah, Avery, this that's not going to work, man.
Something, Hamza, do you believe in what was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad?
I do believe what was revealed.
Beautiful. Do we have biographies of the Prophet Muhammad?
We do.
Was this biography of the Prophet Muhammad given to the Prophet Muhammad?
No.
Does it contain some things perhaps the Prophet Muhammad may have said? Well, he did say, but
yes,
things that he may have said?
It does. Yeah, it does.
Good, beautiful, right? Would I be intelligent, or would I be a boneheaded buffoon to claim, to think that maybe Muhammad, peace be upon him, was given this biography of Muhammad, peace be upon him?
It's ridiculous. I just don't.
Alright, so yeah, also the example given by Ramzi is valid. It doesn't make sense for Revelation to be a biography of what's going to happen in your life. That just doesn't logically make sense. And so, yeah, it was a pretty easy refutation, and thanks for watching.